Hello friends, today in this tutorial we will be building a Next.js application inside which basically we will be inserting the HTML form data inside directly to our Google Sheets Excel file. So Google Sheets, as you all know guys, it's an Excel file. You can have any sort of information coming from the HTML form here. So we have these two input fields out there guys, which is the name of the person filling out the HTML form and then the feedback that they are giving. So basically this will be a simple contact form or response form or feedback form which will be embedded on the website, and basically we will have two input fields out there. Here the person will enter the name and the message. So here if I enter the name guys, so you can see that currently this is empty right now. So basically if I enter the name here and I write in the message, this is the feedback, that's it. And if I now click the submit form button guys, so automatically you will now see this data is inserted into the Google Sheets using the Google Sheets API inside Next.js. So we are making a simple fetch post request and we are transferring that HTML form data to directly to this Google Sheet that you can see here. So if I enter some more data here, let's suppose I enter the name here. This is another feedback. And if I click submit form guys, once again you will now see this data will be inserted for the second time. You will now see inside this Google Sheet. This is another feedback. So in this case guys, you can take the feedback from your website visitors and you can directly insert these feedback inside Google Sheets using Next.js. So you can insert the name, insert the message, click submit form. You can now see directly it is added inside the Google Sheet. So you can see that how easy it is basically. So we can even delete this also. You can delete this and automatically it will place the marker whenever you want to insert this. Enter the message, click submit form. So now you can see that. So we will be building this application from scratch guys. We will be inserting the HTML form data inside the website directly to Google Sheets API. And for this we will be using the Google Sheets API that is provided by Google. So basically if you just type here Google Sheets API, we will be using this API for interacting with it. So it offers its own API. So we will use this API. So all the source code guys I have given in the description of this video. This is my new website webninjadeveloper.com. So I have started a new website as opposed to codingshiksha.com. So this is my article, step-by-step article. I have written a complete article. This is there. So it's a very good website. You should definitely visit it. I have given the link in the description of this video of the blog post. I have also pinned this comment in the live chat. So basically you can see that some comments are there. Hardik Jain is saying hi, good afternoon. So I have given the comment in the pinned comment. You can get all the source code guys. So now let's get started by building this application guys. So first of all guys, now we need to build out a Next.js project. So we will go to the React.js projects here and basically here we will create a new project here. So we will make a new project which is Next Sheets project. Just cd into this Next Sheets project and basically just open this inside your Visual Studio Code text editor guys. So currently you can see it is empty right now. So basically we need to now make this project. So just invoke npx create next app, and then we need to put the name of the file, name of the project. So in this case it will be Sheets project. So now basically guys it will create a new Next.js app inside this folder which is Sheets project. So just wait, it is installing all the dependencies which are needed for this project. So once these dependencies are installed here, we will try to install the modules which are required for this application. So it is just installing the modules, so just wait here. So it is just installing the modules guys. Please hit the like button, subscribe the channel. So you can see it has created this. So we will cd into the project, cd Sheets project. So inside the Next.js project guys, you will now see there is a very familiar looking pages directory. Inside this we have this index page. Now if I run this by using npm run dev, it will start this Next.js project on localhost 3001. So if I start this Next.js project, it will look something like this: 3001, and this is your Next.js project which is running here. So now guys, this is a sample Next.js project here. So now we need to run this file here, and the next thing we need to do guys, we need to go to Google Developer Console, and basically you need to just go to Google, and you need to be having a Google Cloud Console account for this, for fetching the API details. So go to Google Cloud Platform and create a new project. Inside this guys, you need to get the credentials. So right here, go to the marketplace, and you need to enable the Google Sheets API. So here you just need to search for Google Sheets API, and basically you need to enable this API guys. So I have already enabled this API, so this is needed for this application project. Simply enable this API. So I have already enabled this. So now you need to go to your basically just go to your recent, and click on the manage option guys. So now we need to create the credentials for this specific API, and just go to the credentials options. So for this guys, we need to create a service account. So just click on the plus icon, and here you need to create a service account. So this will be the service account which will be there. You can name this as anything. Let's suppose I say Sheets project account, and then you can give it a description. This is a sheet project account, and then guys click on create and continue, and basically click on done. So this is the basically service account which is created guys for this. You will now see this is account, and basically click on that, and for this you need to go to the key section, and here you need to click on this option add key, and here you need to click on create new key. So these two options are supported guys, either JSON or P12. JSON is recommended. Click on create. So if you click create guys, you will now see this file will be downloaded. This will be a very safe file that you need to store it inside your computer. So simply rename this file, or simply cut this file here, and basically you need to paste this inside your Next.js project. So right here inside this, we will be storing it right here inside the root directory. So we will open this in File Explorer, and basically just paste this file guys right here, and we can rename this file to guys, let's suppose secret.json. So just rename this file guys secret.json. So this basically contains some useful information about your project guys. So if you see guys, we have this file secret.json. Sorry, let me rename this to secret.json. So this contains some information about your guys type, project ID, private key, client email, client ID, authorization, URI, token, URI. This will be different for you. So don't copy my details. So this will be the service account. It is just a JSON file holding all the important information for you. So just close this file guys. Now you need to create the actual form which will be required. So right here in the root directory guys, just create a .env file, and inside the .env file guys, you need to hold three information which will be there. So if you go to the blog post which is given in the description of this video, you will find out that you need to store three things out there, which is called as client ID, private key, and basically let me paste it. So this will be the client email, client ID, and private key. All these three things will be available from this secret.json if you have created this in the earlier step. So this client ID is there. Simply you need to paste it. Simply copy and paste it here. This is the client ID. Then we have the client email address. So this is the client email address guys. So simply you need to paste this email address right here. This is a client email address. Simply paste it. And then guys, we will have the third information which is there, which is called as private key. Private key is this key which is available right here. Private key. This is all the stuff that you will need. So simply copy this and paste it here. So this is all the three information guys which is needed for this here. We have stored this inside .env file, which is environment file, client email, client ID and private key. So just close this file now and go to your pages directory and inside your index.js. So right here we don't need this all this code, so simply delete this. And also we don't need this image module, also not need the styles attribute. So now guys, we will be writing the actual HTML form which will be shown to the user on the website. And for this specific guys, you also need to install some modules which is required for this, which will be npmi Google APIs. Google APIs guys is a module which will be able to use to interact to the Google Sheets API. This is somewhat a Node.js module which is used to interact with the Google APIs. So this is very much useful. Then we also need to install React hook form. This is a second dependency which is needed for this project guys. This is a special React.js hook form library. Now we can start this project npm run dev. So now guys, inside this what we need to do is that basically we need to import the use form hook. We need to import the use form hook which is there inside React hook form. So simply import this, and right here guys, basically we will have the actual function which we need to write here. So inside your h1 tag here, inside the main tag we will have h1, and inside this we will say that feedback form, like this. So this will be the feedback form guys. So after this we will have a simple form tag. So please hit the like button guys, subscribe the channel as well. So inside the form guys, we will have a input field out there, input type of text. So here the user will enter the name. So placeholder will be simply enter the name. And then basically guys, we will be attaching a simple uh, after this input field. Basically we will have the input field to enter the message. So input type again text. The placeholder this time will be to enter the message, enter message, like this. So close this. After this guys, you will have a simple button basically to submit this information to Google Sheets. So this will be simply submit form. So that's it guys. So if you reload the application, what you will find out that if you refresh the application, you will find out a simple form is there. It is saying that styles is not defined. Let me see what is the problem. Styles is not defined. Oh, sorry, we don't need this. So just remove this class name. So just refresh it guys. Now you will see a simple feedback form is there. We have the name and the message input field right here. And also we don't need the autocomplete, so we can simply say autocomplete to off. So right here guys, inside this we will now have to import some things from the useState hook right here. So basically we will be importing this, which is register, handle submit, and reset. All these things will be coming from the useState hook, use form hook that we imported like this. So this will be coming from this guys. So also there is one other method which is there inside this, which is called as form state, which will hold the actual errors like this. So this will be useful for catching the form validation error messages. So if you're watching it for the very first time guys, please hit the like button, subscribe the channel. So right here guys, we will now be attaching this register. You can now see this register here to each input field. So this register is very much useful guys in order to catch the errors. So basically inside curly brackets dot register, and here you will provide the name of the field, which is the name field here, and this should be required. So we will put a second parameter which is required to be a error message which will be shown to the user. Please enter the name like this. So this is for the form validation guys. We need to attach it for the same to the message field as well. So dot register, and here we will be saying that it should be a message So register. So this will be called as feedback, and basically this is also required. So required must be enter your feedback. So just close the parentheses also, guys. So this is a parentheses which is required, guys. So that's it. Now we have successfully attached this register callback, guys. So if you doesn't enter the name on the feedback message, this error message will be shown to you that please enter the name and enter your feedback. So we can simply say please enter your feedback. So now to show these error messages, guys, we will show the right here in the below section. We will use the errors callback here, and we will say errors.name. This is the same name attribute we have given here. So errors.name. If it is not present, in that case, we will simply say errors.name.message. That's it. We do need to do the same thing for the feedback as well. So here we will check errors.feedback. If it is there, then we need to show the errors.feedback uh, message. That's it. You can see this errors is coming from right here. This is errors and register. And if you now see, guys, if I don't enter the details out there, if I try to submit it, you will now see the form will submit because we haven't attached the event handler, guys, which is required for the form. So now to attach the event handler, we simply need to say we need to attach it to the on submit. So on submit, we will attach a event handler here, and here we will be using the handle submit method that we have. Handle submit, you will now see this, we will be having handle submit, and here we will pass the custom function we will initialize, which is called as submit handler. So now we need to create this function, guys, at the very top here. Basically this function will be getting called whenever you click the submit button. So right here inside this submit handler, you will now see we will need to create this function. So function submit handler. So this data will be passed to it, guys, and we can console log the data like this. So what will happen now, if you refresh the application, now you can see the error messages will show, guys, please enter the name and please enter your feedback. So if I try to enter the name, the validation message will go. And if I now inspect element and try to submit the form, you will now see the message will be printed out. If I click submit form, you will now see a very good JSON response coming here. The name property will be there, and also the feedback will be there also. So we just need to insert this name and the feedback, guys, inside this JSON sheets here, which will be there. So now we need to insert this information right here inside Google Sheets API. So for this, we will be making a simple fetch request to the Google Sheet API. For doing this, guys, it is very simple. We have got the data, and after this we will simply make a fetch request, fetch API request. We will simply say here fetch, and here we will pass to the, we will create a new Next.js route which will be /API/sheet, which will handle this process for us. And here we will pass the data. So here the method will be post. So the method will be post, and here we will be having the body. So body, here we need to first of all convert the JSON.stringify. We will use this method to convert the data into a JSON string, and then basically we will be also be providing a headers. So this headers, basically, guys, this will be called as content type. Content type. So whenever you are making a post request, guys, you need to specify the content type to application JSON. So application/JSON. So you just need to provide this content type. This is mandatory. After you do this, guys, we need to also use the reset method in order to reset the input fields after you submit the form. So here we will be using this reset method from the React hook form. So now if you submit this, guys, we basically this will not be successful. We haven't created the route for this. If you submit the information, click on submit form, you will now see there will be an error out there, 404 not found. So this API dot sheet hasn't been found. So we need to create this route, guys. So simply go to the API folder of Next.js, and here you need to create a new file which is called as sheet.js, which will handle this route that we have created /API/sheet. So here guys, we will create this route inside our Next.js application to handle this. So inside the very top guys, we will import the Google from the Google APIs like this. And basically guys, this will be a simple async function, handler function. It will be having the request and the response, which will be a very simple. And here we will first of all check that if request.method is equal to the post method. In this case guys, what we need to say is that basically we are checking default method is get method. So here we are checking that if request.method is equal to post, here we are making a post request here. So if it is equal to post method, then we need to make a we need to fetch the information, which is the name and the feedback that we are attaching. So name and feedback. So we need to get this using request.body like this. So we can here console log this name and feedback on the console like this. So if I now try to submit this information guys, hopefully this should work. If I try to write the information, enter the message, click submit form, and you will now see basically resolver is not a function. So I think guys we have made a mistake here. Sorry, we also need to export this handler guys also. So we just need to write export default handler. So we also need to export this handler as well. So if you now execute this application, try to enter something here and click on submit form, you will now see. So it is saying that uh, feedback is not defined. Sorry, this needs to be feedback, not feedback. Sorry, feedback. So just refresh it guys once again. Basically, if you write something here, try to write something inside this form, click submit form. Now you can see that guys in the console, if I check here, basically the message is printed out guys. You can now see this is the name and this is the feedback. So now we need to API resolve without sending a response. So basically we now need to send this, insert it into the Google spreadsheet API, Sheets API. So for this guys, we need to first of all grant the permission. So here we will be simply be having a authentication object here of Google Sheet API, google.auth.googleauth. And here guys, you need to provide inside this object, we need to provide the credentials object. So this credentials object guys, which will hold the client email address and the client ID and the private key. So here we need to pass this information. Client email will be equal to the environment variables that we have stored inside this env file guys. If you closely notice, we have stored these three information right here. So we will try to insert this information by using process.env dot the variable which we defined, which is client ID. We will put a comma and then we will insert the second information, which is client ID, which is client ID. Put a comma. This is client email. Sorry, this needs to be client email, client ID. And lastly guys, we will be also be inserting the private key. So private key is equal to guys process.env dot private key. That's it. So after you provide these three details guys, now you are successfully authenticated. Now you also need to provide the scopes. So which scopes you need to enter. So this will be an array of scopes, right guys, here. So the first scope will be equal to www.googleapis.com/auth. So scopes are nothing but guys the permissions that you need to grant to insert the information, interact with the API, drive. Then the second scope will be for googleapis.com/auth/drive file. And the third scope will be https googleapis.com/auth/spreadsheets. So these are the three scopes which are necessary guys for interacting with Google Sheet. After this is done guys, we will simply make a simple call to the Google Sheet. We will say google.sheets, and inside this guys we will pass the authentication object and then we will pass the version number, which is equal to version 4, like this. So now we have got access to the version 4 of the API. Now we can simply make a call to the API, guys, which will be simply, this is a async function. So here we will use the await keyword. We will say sheets dot spreadsheets dot values dot append, and here we will use this method, guys, which will be spreadsheet ID. So this spreadsheet ID, guys, we need to attach it. So if you create a if you just go to your docs.google.com, just go to docs.google.com, guys, and here you just need to create a, you can even write here Google Sheet, and basically this is the official website of Google Sheets. So click on go to sheets here and basically create a blank sheet here. And basically, guys, this is the ID that you need to copy paste. This is the address bar. So this contains the spreadsheet ID. This is a unique ID that you need to copy paste here. Simply copy this ID and paste it here. So put a comma and the range will be equal to sheet 1 A2 C. This is the range. And the third parameter, guys, we need to provide is value input option. Value input option. This will be user entered. And then we also need to provide the request body, which will be a object which will be holding the values, which will be name comma feedback. That's it. So we will be inserting the name of the user and the feedback message, and after that, guys, we can return a status message of 201, and here we will simply return a response which will message that data successfully entered into Google Sheet. That's it. So after this, guys, if the data is we can even show this message here. This is the default message which will be shown to the user whenever you call this API on the browser side. So now this code is complete, guys. So one thing that you need to do, guys, before you execute this, let me just execute it now. If you see, if I enter the name and the message, let's suppose this is the message. Click on submit form. You will now see, and if you now see, basically the data is not inserted, guys. So why it is hasn't inserted? Because there is a thing out there which we need to say. Go to the details here, and here you need to grant the access. So simply copy this email address and first of all save your Google Sheet. So let me say that information and click on the share button, guys. So here you need to click the share button and simply you need to paste it. uh, Let me just see. I think you need to copy paste this email address which you have written here. If you see, simply copy this, and right here you need to click the share button. So simply paste this email address, guys. So click on send, and now, guys, you have successfully shared this email address. So now access updated. So you need to do this step, guys. So simply copy this email address of your service account and simply click on the share button to grant the permission. So this is very important step. Without it, it will not work. Now if you enter the information, guys, it will definitely work here. If you write the name, this is the feedback. Click on submit form. So here you also need to write name and feedback. And also refresh it. This is the feedback. Click on submit form. So it is saying that routines get name, no start line. Just paste this code once again, guys. Let me paste this code once again. Something error message will be coming for. Just paste this code and once again try out this example. It will definitely work. This is the feedback. Click on submit form. I think, guys, what we need to do is that basically inside, whenever you're storing this .env file, you need to surround this private key to this double quotes. So just surround this to a double quotes, guys. So this private key needs to be stored in a double quotes. So just do this process and again refresh it. Hopefully this time this will execute. So if you're watching it for the very first time, then please hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well, guys. So as you can see, we have that. So here you just click the share button and basically you need to add this email address right here. Basically, we need to share it with the different people right here. So different, you need to share it. Click on the done option. So when you share it, this information will be coming here. I think some kind of error has been taking place. You can go to the description of this video. I have given all the source code in my blog post. So 7 people are watching the stream, guys. Please hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well. So this is the spreadsheet ID, guys. You will now see. Uh, Whenever you create a spreadsheet, you get this unique ID here. Simply you need to paste this unique ID. So inside sheets.js, you need to paste this ID here. So if you execute this application once again, you will now see there it will definitely run here. So now, guys, you can see that if I refresh here, this is the feedback. You can now see the feedback is successfully inserted, but the name property hasn't been inserted. Let me see what is the problem. Let me see, guys, why it has been not inserted. The name property, you will now see we have got the name property here. So here you can see we are inserting the name comma feedback. So if you insert and again here, click submit form. Now you can see that now it's successfully inserting these values here. You can now see. So in this case, guys, we are directly transferring the data from the HTML form to Google Sheets. You can now see we can fill out the information, click on submit form. And if you click the Google Sheet here, you will see we are successfully saving this data automatically. This is your Google Sheet. Try to enter the name and the feedback message of the website. It is successfully inserted here. You will see that. So you can share this, deploy this application on the live internet, and user will be filling out the feedback form, and you will be getting this information right here inside your Google Sheets here in Google Sheets file. So this is a very awesome app that I have developed, guys. You can now see we are using Google Sheets API to directly insert it inside Google Sheets API. So if you have any questions, guys, you can ask in the comment section, because basically this is the application that we have developed in this tutorial. If you have any sort of questions that is related to this Next.js project, many people say that you don't develop Next.js project. I am developing it, and live watching, you can see only 5 people are watching and only 4 likes are there. So why I want to develop these Next.js project and put in the hard work? You guys don't watch the video, you don't uh, hit that like button, you don't subscribe to the channel, and why you put please hit that like button. And any doubts that you have inside this live streams, you can ask in the comment section. So this is the Google Sheets API that we have used to transfer the data from HTML form to Google Sheets. Anyway, anyone watching in the live chat, guys, you can answer me in the comment section. Anyone watching? Have you understood the topic, Mohammed Ayande? Have you understood the topic of Alex Gaming? Do you like this live streams or not? Do you like this project of Next.js basically or not? So why so less watching is there? Why so less watching? In the previous live stream where I did nothing, so many people watched. But in this live stream I am speaking, I am doing the work. No one is watching. Why it is the case? I am just curious to find out. So many, so much people watched. But in this live stream there is no one. I didn't I just fail to understand why people say every time they want to see Next.js project. Now I am building Next.js project, they are gone. And whenever I will do JavaScript project, they will say that you don't do Next.js project. So it is somewhat a double standard. So yeah, you are there, Alex Gaming, but rest of the people, they are somewhat confused out there. So this is a very good project that I have done here. Basically, it's a today Saturday, so little busy. I will go through the course from the link posted. Stick with JavaScript. JavaScript has limited topics, but in Next.js you can build out some awesome projects working with Google API such as Google Sheets API, Google YouTube API, Drive API, Gmail API. All these awesome projects ideas. Can't do the same thing again and again So I just also get tired and bored as well by doing the same thing of JavaScript, explaining concept. I also need to do the Next.js thing, guys. Next.js is a very awesome framework, as you all know of Next React.js. Server-side framework, server-side rendering is very much important. And Google Sheets API we have integrated in this tutorial. JavaScript is love.